we're going to play the new version of Siralim a little bit, because it's awesome and it deserves some spotlight. I'm happy that it showed up. Just when the new version of RimWorld was coming along, the new version of Siralim also was coming along. The plan for tonight is we're going to build up a new build for the Defiler class, which is debuffs galore, and we're going to enjoy the new version alongside with that. I was stomping around before that with the Cleric, which is really working out decently at this point. I haven't finished all the 100 realm quests yet with this guy, but we had a good time. And since I noticed that the Goblet was on Defiler and Cleric, well, I wanted to try out the Defiler since quite some time. So we're going to roll with this as usual. We're going to check out the perks, build up a team, and see what we can do with that. So first off, I don't know why these creatures are with me, but they will sit over there on the bench while we check out the perks of this jolly old dude. Let's see what we can do. So, more effective weakness debuffs. Enemies dealing less damage. Wonderful. Enemies have less maximum health, less intelligence, attack, speed, and defense. So the base stats get heavily reduced. Okay, let's just rank this up. So we are doubly as effective. That means, I don't think it means that enemies can deal 100% less damage, but well. So
this is very
hey,
personal.
Sanks Angry, welcome, man. Thanks for the subscribe. And I recognize your name from the comment section. Happy that you like the new RimWorld stuff I'm putting up. So, futility. We're just going to level up these. I mean, stat reduction is just a good thing. Impotence. Let's go. Oh, I wish I could rank these up faster, but, well, I could quickly press E. That goes a little bit faster, but it hurts my fingers. I'm really happy you like you like the content, man. We're going to have around an episode per day for the next time, because the hype is pretty hot around RimWorld right now, so... Daybreaker. Enemies take 10% more damage for each debuff they have. Now let's go. This sounds like we're going to have fun. Enemies' buffs last for only 1 turn, and their minions have double the chance to leave the battle. Ooh. Horror show. Enemies with feared have a chance to lose their turns. This is really powerful too. I mean, every 4th turn an enemy will skip his action. It's pretty nasty. Ignoring Shelled and Barrier? Okay, that's pretty tough too. Oh man, I totally forgot to spam the link into the Discord there. Whoopsie. Sorry guys, gonna be right there. I forgot to do the advertisement today. Whoops. Well. And so let's invite some more people in, because it's way more jolly with a lot more people. And there we go. Okay, where was I? Infirmity. At the start of battle, enemies are afflicted with 3 random debuffs. Okay, that's pretty cool too. Languish increases the potency of my creature's effects that decrease enemy stats. I like where this is going to. I really like where this is going to. So we're going to have 100% more stat decrease on the enemies. Debuffs last forever. Music to my ears. Enemies deal 5% less damage for each debuff they have. Okay. Vulnerability is more effective. Figures. Tragedy decreases the potency of enemies' effects that increase there's that. So enemy stat increases get debuffed now too. Some of these things read really hard. So after my creatures afflict enemies with a debuff, they deal damage to them equal to their lowest stat. Okay. So afflicting debuffs is basically a method of dealing damage for this class. So this is our turn 0 nuke. This is where we can apply damage before my creatures actually have to act. I like that. At the start of battle, enemies lose % health. Okay, just 20% health gone when the fight starts. Cool stuff. Okay, I like what I'm seeing here. So let's first off check out if we can have something. Thank you so much, Sangry. Well, since you have a subscribe on, I do RimWorld streams too. Maybe you're going to check that out too. I do something different every day, so hope to see you soon again, and enjoy the games, my man. See you soon. Abominations. Well, let's check out the fused creatures first. I think these are the most important candidates to check out first, because everything else I can check out of the catalog. So Apocalypses, they are Reaver stuff. Arcane Automaton. Automatons basically are. So this thing is tweaked to reduce the enemy's stats a bit. I don't know if this is really that powerful, because basically this doesn't deal the damage. Afflicting debuffs is what we want to see. So no. Carbuncle. Completely not interesting. Centaur. No. Cerberus. Well, basically, but no. Blobarian. Afflicts with disarmed at least, but no. This is a chain reaction on disarmed, and some conditional stuff which all plays around the disarm condition. It's going to be the question how interesting it will be to focus into a certain sort of debuff or not. I really wonder where this will bring us. Omnipotent Deity, no. The Diabolic Quartz, that's completely a different cup of tea. Sentry, well, tanky stuff. Buffs, quite the opposite end of the spectrum, what we're using here. Ents, well, maybe we will fit that in, probably, most likely not. Regal Golems. Golem, yeah, healing and stat increase, not that fitting at this point. Kolos Doombringer, health increase, no. Leech, Leper. After an ally attacks, this creature afflicts the enemy with a random debuff. Well, ish. Goes into the right direction, but no. Scorch Mummy. After an enemy casts a spell. Well, this is definitely a thing. But I don't like the fusion I took there. So, I'm not gonna pick this guy up here. Cultists, they're a completely different piece of work again. After an enemy loses stats, this creature deals damage to that enemy equal to the amount of stats lost. Okay. So this goes into a direction where I may be able to pick up the automaton again. Well, buff into debuff conversion. Quite exotic. I would rather put that onto an artifact rather than on a creature, but I want to keep an eye out for this dude. After an enemy takes damage from conditions, creatures recover health. Not bad. Doesn't look like we're going to find something we need here at this pile, but that's okay. Spirits are healing interactors, so no. Whites interact with resurrection mechanics, so we will be picking up new stuff here. So, abominations. Do they have a profound way of spreading these conditions really quickly or not? Or do they just basically pump up the value of these conditions? When this creature attacks an enemy with vulnerable, deals more damage. Okay. Sounds like fun, but I don't think it's that powerful. No. I don't want to go down that way. I don't think that this is worth it. After my creatures apply a debuff, they apply an additional random debuff, but their debuffs only last for 1 turn. Well, the real question is, does my perk overwrite that or not? So, that's an interesting question. If so, this is quite OP. We need to test that somehow. This shouldn't be that hard. We're just going to level up that thing. And then we should be able to, it's like magic, able to get any spell gem going which applies some sort of debuff. Doesn't seem like it's the correct department, but who knows. Oh, well, I'll rather instead pick up somebody who just can inflict some condition there. Wasn't there a mummy around there? Here we go. And we'll just equip that mummy with something which will trigger again, and then we should be good to go. I need to test that because this is a very important question to me. So I should have something. Enemies take a massive amount of damage and are afflicted with weak and vulnerable. Let's take Wormrod instead. I don't want to deal massive damage. Okay, so we're going to go somewhere serious because everything else would be not representative. And so we're going to see. Well, okay, they're not resilient enough to last through that. Okay, let's go up with a somewhat more harmless approach. You see here already that these new features where we just need to walk into obstacles to remove them instead of clicking them like that. So let's see. We apply these twice now, and let's see. We deal a lot of damage, and okay, well, it's hard to tell, basically, because everything dies that quickly. So I need to defend for a moment to see if this applies or not. When I attack, everything dies too quickly. So let's see. They don't seem to lose their conditions though. So it seems like I can't keep that, yeah. The question is how good it will be, but yeah, now we can see it quite clearly. Okay, cool. So my perk overwrites the fact that... Okay. After we apply a debuff, we apply a random additional debuff. This is so powerful. This needs to go into my build. I was made to abuse this. So, well, let's just forfeit. That's the easier way out. Can something attack me, please? Here we go. Run! Okay, cool. So we definitely will keep that Amphisbana thing in the build, because spreading more debuffs whenever we apply a debuff, that's just so massive. Definitely a keeper. Good stuff. Okay. Let's see what we can do apart from that. After a creature, if this creature attacks, afflicts. I want something more massive. This is too small scaled, you know. I mean, we could just do that, but slots of traits are quite limited, so we have to be careful what we pick up. Arachnolisks. Well, there are so many different schools of debuffs to go for. I wonder what we can do. So... After this creature is attacked, it afflicts the enemy with Snared. Snared is stupidly strong. We would need something which spreads these debuffs, you know? Ah, well, let's just keep searching first for the stuff which massively spits out debuffs, and then we go towards the more specialized things. I think that should be a good thing. But what I do think is stuff which plays around Snared and generally denial of action should be a strategy I could aim for. Okay, so we have the aspects here. They are different shelf. Automatons. So, since I already know that I can't have a Plague Doctor on my team, which basically will deal damage whenever I decrease the enemy's stats, the automatons only need one more thing, and that's a stat increase for themselves, because their stat reduction is relying on their own stats. So I don't want to pick this up yet, because this could tweak my build away from debuffs and too much into stat decrease, which is technically a different form of debuffing. But at the start of this creature's turn, it afflicts enemies with a random debuff. The Luxury Automaton definitely fits into my scheme, where we're going to pick this guy up. Definitely a keeper. The other guys, well... buff removal. What kind of Defiler I'm going for? Well, right now my idea was to play mostly around the Unholy Knight thing. So basically I want to spread debuffs in a high number and probably try to increase the team's stats somehow, so I can utilize the multi-trigger on the debuffs and have high stats to work with. So that's the basic strategy here, which I'm looking for. But there's also, well, I would love to make use of the Languish here. Increases the potency of my creature's effects that decrease enemy stats by 100%. So basically all these automatons would be doubly effective. I really don't know where I will end. There's a Plague Doctor. Well, I already have a Plague Doctor built. Give me a sec. Or, wait a sec, Plague Doctor? Ah, no, Witch Doctor. I got this mixed up. Yes, Plague Doctor. You're right. I already have them on the profile here. Sorry. This game is too widespread, but good thing you mentioned that. I want to pick him up before I mix something in. So, who was it? No. After an enemy afflicts your creatures with a debuff, this creature afflicts the enemy with that debuff as well. This could be a thing as well. But here, the Plague Alchemist is what we're looking for. If we want to go for the automatons, but let's see. Now I'm a little bit confused. but that's okay. That's playing Siralim. So my creatures take less damage for each debuff they have. You use an offensive Defiler build. Carved choppers, which deal crits when enemies have debuffs and such. Oh yeah, that sounds tasty too. So basically, I would like the Plague Expert, but this is more gimmicky at best. Let's keep the Plague Alchemist in the sights if we go for stat decreases. I'm not sure if I will. So, Banshees. That's the wonderful thing about this game. Every specialization can be approached from different angles. There are so many builds that you can take. Thanks, Dodo. And that's really cool. When your creatures lose stats, no. Bats, I think they are for speed builds. Carbuncles, well, we don't need them that much. Carnages, well, I don't think I will take any of these. No. Here are the Carvers. Let's check that out. Creatures have an independent 25% chance to deal critical damage for each debuff the enemy has. Wow, that's massive. I can see why you picked that. After one of your creatures is damaged. Okay. Not that interesting. But the Carver Chopper is really massive. Disarmed. This creature can target invisible creatures. Wonderful. Centaurs, no thanks. Cerberuses, no thanks. Clutchers, no thanks. Cockatrice, well, no. Blobarian. We already have these. Crusaders are about buffing stuff. Well, demigods. Demigods are a weird bunch. Let's see. Sometimes they have exactly the fitting stuff for your build. No. That's not really anything I want to have. Diabolics? Well, no thanks. Jinn. That's a completely different department as well. Guards, they're about guarding stuff, defense, stacking builds. Well, dragons. Well, dragons sound fun. After an enemy defends or provokes, reduces all them. Yeah. We're gonna go for both strategies. I have just decided that. So we're going to first pick up the... We're going to work with dragons. Let's do this. Dragons punish the enemy for every step they take, and I like that. So we need that Plague Doctor. And that's going to be the Plague Alchemist. Okay. This will be a nice fit to spreading some damage. To spread some damage while stealing stats, basically. That's the idea behind that. Now let's see what we want to take from the dragons. So, this is not too common. After enemies cast spells, intelligence reduction. So, after enemies attack, attack reduction. Speed reduction after crits. After an enemy dodges. Okay, well, that's not really. So I'm going to pick up the Guardian. No, man, this game should just bookmark where you left off. Don't know why I have to go through all this time and time again. Dragon Revenant. This is going to be what I want to have as well. And let's pick up, last but not least, the Dragon Scout as well. So basically whatever our enemies do from now on, they will lose stats by doing so. I really like that. So let's level up everybody. And then it's fusing time. Okay, we're going to fuse the dragons together, I'd say. And I'm going to bring one of the dragons and the Plague Alchemist together. So, intelligence-based or intelligence-based, well, they are made for each other. Does it look better if we take the other guy first? Yeah. I like the looks of that. So, let's see. We got these thingies together. Well, I don't want to fuse more creatures now together. So far, so good. So, whenever this creature acts, we afflict debuffs. We decrease stats and we deal damage while decreasing stats. So far, so good. We need more spreading of debuffs now to make this build shine somehow. Let's see what we can pick up for that department. The dragons will help, definitely, to keep up some damage. And most importantly, they will cripple the enemies massively. Ifrit, no. Elves. And no. We don't go for defensive stuff here. Forsaken, no. Gargantuan, no. What's gargoyle stuff? Chaos spells, no. Gemlings, must have bought them somewhere along the lines. Ghouls. After this creature attacks, it steals speed. Well, that would be at least a stat increase, but I'm not fancy about that. Don't fancy that, I mean. No. We need some own stat increasers as well. That's pretty important too. Well... Golems. Let's see. After this creature is attacked, my other creatures gain a portion of this creature's stats. Well, this is weaker than I like it. After this creature defends, each enemy has a chance to be snared. Oh, I dig that. But it's only 50%. After this creature is attacked, enemies are afflicted with blind. The golems definitely go into a way that fits into the scheme, but... well, gorgons. Well, at the start of battle, this creature afflicts enemies with stone. Let's see, we're at page 16. Is stone something I want to have really badly? I thought it was quite good. Cannot dodge or deal critical damage. Is this worth a permanent slot in my team? I don't think so. This is neat, but this is not really powerful. Okay. Harpies Blindness. Start of battle, this creature afflicts enemies with blind. Well, I could stack these on top of each other and we would be dealing a lot of damage as well, but I don't know. It's a possibility, but at the end of each enemy's turn. So this is quite interesting. Harpy Screamer is quite good because it, yeah. This is one of the things that this acts so often that it is attractive. Whenever an enemy acts, I get a roll to afflict it with a debuff, and that's the stuff I'm looking for. Not this stuff which is only triggering once, although it is quite interesting to have something which always goes off. Let's see where we can get there. Hunters, no. Imlers and Imlings are definitely not our department here today. Inquisitors, Minion Masters, no. Kolos, Leech, Lepers, probably something to look for. Corpse Explosion. At the start of each enemy's turn, this creature afflicts them with a random debuff. Oh yeah. This is what we're looking for. Oh boy, this is nasty. Hey, 5-piece, hey there. How I am today? I'm feeling awesome today. This is I have a really good start into the week, and I'm really enjoying myself with all the new stuff that's coming up. New version of Siralim is a lot of fun, and a new version of RimWorld is a lot of fun. The new DLC for RimWorld, which has been announced, is awesome. We're going to have some last spell tomorrow or something like that when I will check out the new patch there. A lot of good stuff happening everywhere. In the gaming department, at least. So, let's see. Luxury Automaton. We're going to fuse that guy with the Leper Blightbringer. So now we have a creature which afflicts debuffs whenever it acts, and afflicts debuffs whenever an enemy ends his turn. This is awesome. This is just obnoxiousness in its in extreme form. So we have that Emphas Bane creature there, which we need to fuse in as well. Oh, I gotta look at all this huge prophecy card hanging around here. Wait a sec. Boom. 12 lines. 27k piety. That's a lot. Okay, wonderful. So, well, is there any reason to hold myself back? This creature has a chance to afflict it with confused. This guy is really, really generalistic. Well, I'll hold that back. I'll hold that back. Okay, where were we? Somewhere with the Harpies, yeah. Somewhere beyond that. Imlers, Lepers. The Leper was the last edition, exactly. So enemies deal less damage and take more damage for each debuff they have. Oh boy. After this creature takes damage from an attack or spell, it afflicts the enemy with a random debuff. Ooh. Not generalistic enough. This Plague Spreader, though, I will fuse him onto on top of my Emphas Bane, because I really feel like these will be a great fit for each other. Or will they? Maybe not. Let's wait with that for now. We have 2 creature slots left open, basically. Like I thought, it fills up faster than I like it. But luckily we have still artifact slots, so we're not completely We're not completely done yet. After my creatures are afflicted with a debuff, nah. Okay. Liches. No. I don't think they will fit into my build. Maniacs. No. They're more like blood magic stuff. So what I really miss in my build is some way of increasing the stats of my team here. So mites, they work around blight, right? After this creature attacks, it afflicts the target with a random debuff. Wow. I'm not too interested with that. Mummies. Well, there's the Scourge Mummy. A more punishment for enemy spellcasting. Certainly a thing, but let's hold ourselves back. This is something At the start of each enemy's turn, this creature has a chance to afflict it with curse. That's way more like it. This is wonderful, generalistic, and impacts the enemy negatively. Wonderful. Let's see what we can do here. So, here we go. No. Here's Swarm Mummy. Okay. Let's fuse our dude with that Swarm Mummy. If I find it, that is. Sorting by race. Here we go. Okay, so now we have one more fusion slot left, if I see that correctly. Yes, that's my Harpy. Okay, wonderful. So let's just get out there and see what happens if we just put ourselves on some enemies and check out what that does if I leave it alone. Okay, so my creatures act out first. Well, there's a ton of debuffs on the enemies when we start the fight, but obviously the enemies are not in any way suffering damage from the debuffs they have there. Okay, so they start with all this stuff, but they don't suffer from it. That's bad. Well, let's just not act and see what happens there. So Unholy Knight is dealing a lot of damage to them, basically, for all the debuffs they get afflicted. Okay, so this works quite autonomously. Perfect. But how do we now skill those guys? I mean, well, let's first forfeit the next fight and see what we can do. So basically what we see here, the strategy works out quite well. Hey Hjorin, welcome there. Nice to see you, man. So we're going to be using what? I have one creature slot open. Happy to have you joining here, man. Don't you worry. I know that you will join whenever you have time. So after an enemy gains stats, this creature afflicts it with a random debuff. I have to do that. I mean, this is just so good. Come on, let's fuse that. So we have now a pretty rough package for our enemies, gotta say. The real question here is how good is the survivability of my squad here? So the weird thing on the Defiler here is that after my creatures afflict them with a debuff, they deal damage equal to their lowest stat. So we would basically need to buff up all stats to make the lowest stat eventually powerful as well. But this is where I really feel like this build is rather complicated to max out, because how the heck am I supposed to do that? You know? While applying lots and lots of conditions onto my enemies. So let's see, what kind of elements do we have? Sounds complicated, but a lot of potential. Indeed, indeed. I mean, it has to be complicated, but because otherwise it would be overpowered as heck. Because, I mean, we're talking about dealing damage while decreasing the power of the enemy at the same time. So this has to be difficult in terms of maximizing that. But I think we are now in a really nifty position. So we decrease enemies' stats whenever they act, basically. Whenever they defend, cast spells, or attack, they lose stats, and whenever they lose stats, they suffer 50% damage of that. And whenever this guy takes a turn, and everybody takes a debuff, and whenever an enemy starts his turn, they suffer from a debuff. They take more damage and deal less damage per debuff. Wait a sec, we still have a fusion slot open. Ha! Wonderful. Whenever we apply debuffs, we apply an additional random debuff. This is extremely powerful because this, but the debuff lasts only for one turn, gets overwritten by the debuffs last forever perk from the Defiler. This is crazy. So at the start of each enemy's turn, this creature has a chance to be afflicted with cursed. Wonderful. So basically, yeah, we get we have one guaranteed debuff on the enemy when they take a turn, and 2 chances to apply a debuff when they take a turn. I'd say this is really pretty nasty. So we can actually fuse something more on top of that. Pit Wraith. I'm gonna check that out. I certainly didn't come past the Pit Wraiths yet, I think. I think I didn't. Let's check them out. So, by that I mean deal X status effect. Don't know, checking it out right now. So, at the start of battle, this creature afflicts each enemy with 2 random debuffs. No. Well, there's so much stuff here, and don't you worry. It's worth checking it out. Well, so this one I'm not too interested in because it triggers only once. I tried to only pick up stats that trigger repeatedly to keep the debuff machine rolling. Hey Pop, welcome, nice to see you, man. So I'm pretty sure there's more stuff which is absolutely desirable here for this build. Pitworm. At the end of each enemy's turn, this creature decreases their defense by 15%. Okay. At the end of each ally's turn, this creature gains attack equal to... Oh, well, this is not working out. This creature deals damage to a random enemy. No. Phoenixes. Paragons. Well... Well, those pitworms really look tasty, but they sadly just oh so little don't fit into my scheme. So let's get back to this part here. So, whenever an enemy would gain stats, this creature has a chance to gain them instead now. Sounds fun, but it's not really fun. Wisps, no. Whites, no. From my own experience, I would say trying to end a battle fast is more than favorable. I agree with that. Totally agree with that. That's why I want to have this insane bombardment with debuffs as often as possible. I also have noticed that these effects which apply the debuffs at the start of battle don't trigger the damage from the Unholy Knight. So it's a little bit unfavorable. Whoops. Well. Oh yeah, I know what I'm going to bring in. Something which is always usable in every build and never a bad buddy here. We're going to bring in an Ashmouth Cerberus. Practically building the counter to my own build, which is interesting. We're going to bring in a Cerberus because the Cerberus is just awesome. He's a big buddy for us because this will bring us the option to just spread spells into the team. I like that. So let's level up another Cerberus and fuse the big boy into something. Here, Plague Spreader. This way, all the gems I equip onto the Plague Spreader can be used by the entire team, which is always an awesome thing. And he now looks really angry. Look at him being all red and such. So let's see, what kind of... do we have skins? I've plundered. So, but I don't think I have anything which I could apply. That crunchy I just got today. Isn't it cute? So, I like that Sea Shambler skin. Overall, that skin menu here is just so awesome. Well, they accumulate, you know. Jewelry, I like that one. I really have that since a long time. Librarian Occultist, Permafrost Trammer. Quarterback Doomguard, I really like that one too. Radioactive Imling. So this one really looks awesome too. Well, if I would play more with Tremors, I could actually do a lot of funny things with that. So we now have access to Chaos spells with that dude. Well, let's see what we can do here. Enemies take a small amount of damage if they're no. Now let's see what we can get in with Chaos magic to spread some debuffs. I think Chaos should have some debuffs. Target is afflicted with Burning and Blight. Well, that's a single target spell. I don't like that. I want to have something... Firewall is good. Well... yeah, but it's not really fitting into my build here. I don't want to stack up my own stats. Unless I can stack up all stats at once. Sadly. Right now I'm looking for something which just spreads some debuff onto the enemies. But it doesn't look like Chaos is providing. Target. Well, that's again not an AoE. Afflict gives all enemies a debuff. Did I overlook there? Oh, thanks. Just skip past the juicy one. Thanks, Everyday. Really fair, really good one. So, well, we should consider Volcano too, because that works out too. So beyond that, well, we don't seem to have too many other options here. But that's okay. I mean, we can add a lot of things there, but... Target creature's attack is set equal to its intelligence. Well, 3 random debuffs. Well, creatures gain a random trait. Well, let's put that up too. This is fun, chaotic, and probably it's going to be useful. I highly doubt it, but let's go for the tasty stuff first. So, and which one did I craft beyond that? Did I craft something beyond that? Whatever. Okay, so that's that. The next important question is, how will I build the artifacts of my creatures? Because that's quite the question, you know? So an artifact can have 4 different stats. Basically the best thing that I can think of would be to apply them to create artifacts which increase all stats evenly. So let's do that. We're going to forge some swords. So 6 swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is going to be one of the oddest things that I ever did. Don't really need a casting stat, right? Yeah, exactly. I don't need that. Don't need a casting stat. I basically just need to try to improve all stats evenly to increase the Unholy Knight damage as much as possible. Which is very odd, but, well, that's just how the strategy seems to be working. So we're going to do it like that, but I won't be adding a nether slot to these items. That's just more money than I want to invest here. Nether slots are fine if you really need them. So it's 2 swords, 3. Oh, brimstone's running out rapidly already again. So 3, 4. I think I will need to convert some brimstone first before I can complete that. Luckily I have grinded a lot of materials, so we're going to convert some crystal into brimstone. There we go. I got a feeling as if we could be just creating a build which is going to be quite fast and devastating, because all these debuffs should be a really nasty combo at the end of the day. I mean, it's not like they are not influencing the enemies. They are all, most debuffs are also buffed up due to my Defiler traits, so it's going to be quite nasty. So, no! Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Socket. Okay, so we have attack. Here goes defense. Feel like you benefit from hybrid relics. Oh, relics, that's a whole... it's its own topic. So, here we go. Now, this should work, shouldn't it? Because defense and HP are important as well, yeah. It's my highest concern right now that we are really, really squishy with that build. But then, on the other hand, we do debuff our enemies massively. And, well, I don't have any healing mechanism involved yet, so that might become an issue later down the road. But I also have an entire set of artifacts to work with, so this could be also pretty good. Okay, so we got that down, and the next thing I want to do, we want to think about a macro. So I used that one for my priest. So I want to have a macro which basically only tells them to cast Affliction as often as possible. So if this creature is not defending, yeah, why not? Cast Affliction. Wonderful, that's all we need. So, or at least it should be like that. So we're going to assign a macro and put that onto the strategy here. Of course, not to the spooky dude, because he's basically spreading the spell. Let's see, that should work. Okay, now this guy will be attacking. Okay, let's check out how good it will work at our depth right now, and let's see. So yeah, the macro doesn't trigger. Why? Ugh. This creature does not have any spell gems equipped. Why not? Did I Okay, the Unholy Knight is dealing tremendous amounts of damage. But oh, I equipped the spell gems to the wrong creature. Well, okay, that explains a lot. That can't work. Okay, I should forfeit the next time instead. It's taking way longer. Whoopsie. Ah, this guy can equip way more things here, so this is also pretty nice. We are only at the beginning of the build here, of course, but alright, let's try that one more time. So, Affliction. Affliction. More Affliction. So, I mean, our enemies are not acting anymore. But we're also not... Ah, this thing is preventing damage all the time. Seriously? So much damage prevention? Are you kidding me? What's wrong with that guy? Immune to indirect damage. Ah, that's why. It's basically countering my whole strategy. But, well... It's also not acting at all, so, I mean... How unfortunate to run into my direct counter directly. So, yeah. Well... I need to do something about the squishiness. So, how can we do that? What's a good option to keep this build alive? Because the damage is just massive. Just saw that? I think we are on a good way. Now we need to do something which makes us more tanky. I mean, the obvious... Do you have anything to counteract total party wipes? No, nothing at all. I just started out building this. Probably gonna have to say goodbye to one of the dragons, but I actually don't want to. I still have 6 slots open on my artifacts for traits, which we can use. I would like to have some sort of way to sustain myself from the suffering of my enemies, in a way, you know. That would be the best option. If we had some method of healing ourselves due to the fact that our enemies are suffering from conditions, that would be the ideal approach. I mean, these guys are just, well, the worst that I can meet, basically. But we can also just go for Volcano. Oh, that didn't kick ass. So, right now I think everything will be awesome until we get smacked first. And then we die. Basically. But so far I'm quite happy with it. Apart from these really annoying dudes that try to ignore my damage somehow. Auto-revive. Yeah, auto-revive is always good. So how could we implement that? I mean, I don't have any critters which have automatic spellcasts. I think the Pandemonium monsters have some sort of method there. This creature is immune to debuffs. This is basically my nightmare. So this realm has a lot of things which are not working good for me. This is not how you want it to look like, you know. But our units are by themselves not really strong, and that Wisp is not doing anything except for getting punched. So. But my build is so far missing the scaling part. I would basically need something like you gain some stats whenever somebody is suffering from a status or from a debuff. That would be really an awesome thing. Just die. Hi Cerno, welcome man. So this realm is really bad for me. Got it. Pretty sure we will be destroying pretty much all the other realms quite easily though. So I really love the new features from the new version though. Just walking into things and interacting with it is so awesome. The new blessings are really, really awesome too. I have way more interest in grinding up my god favor now than ever before, and that's a good thing, after all. So they also changed some of the sprites for loot, yeah. There's also a lot more different loot now. Also, you now gain stat increases for cards like that too. So this is going to be more representative now. Yeah, we're just destroying them. The Unholy Knight effect is extremely powerful, but our stats overall aren't that high. But at least we deal enough damage to destroy our enemies quite easily. Gemstones to upgrade relics. Well, I've seen a lot of new things with the new version in between. It's the only thing I can say. We started out with a ton of buffs. Why, actually? Okay, but so far everything here works out quite decently. We're not nuking the enemies outright, but we're applying a constant pressure and applying constantly damage. While our enemies are not really able to do much against us here. I really enjoy that. Yeah. This is looking quite decent. Now we need to amp up the survivability somewhat. But I do like that inferno of debuffs. And look at me being lucky. Amphisbaena Gardener card. Boom. Thank you, RNGesus. But, well, that's a quite quick resolve of fights, gotta say. We do get these things done quite quickly. I do enjoy a lot that with enough God favor you can now see the teleporter from the get-go on the map. It's like the dev has heard my pleas, because I was really searching for the exit teleporter quite often. Even though I was technically already done with the level there. Now it's gone. And it's not even gone in a cheesy way, you have to earn it. I like that now. Really like how that problem has been solved. Yeah, this is quite insane. We're just whittling down our enemies really quickly. I mean, every instability realm which imposes immunity against debuffs is just absolutely unplayable for me. But beyond that, everything is groovy. Okay, that's the Shadow Bulwark dude again. So, why did he prevent the volcano damage? Is that also indirect damage, or what's the case there? Well, whatever might be the case, these guys are super annoying for what I'm doing here. I mean, oh, wow, another skin for the dumpling? My god. Mystery meal. I found 2 skins for that little dude today. Crazy. Can't remember when I was that lucky the last time. Okay. So, what's these rifts we are supposed to close though? I don't even know what's my mission. I really like the streamlining of the realm quests too. Really enjoy that a ton. Well, okay. But so far, I'm going to just try a tier 5 instability once and see how heavily we get beaten there. I want to see the weaknesses of this build first. So what's that rift I'm supposed to close, guys? Looking for rifts. Please send help. Chests. I think the Defiler might be among the strongest specializations because he debuffs the enemies so hard and therefore has the ability to cripple higher tier enemies by a ton. 230, don't say only to that, that's already pretty deep as well. Ah, that's the rift I need to close. I just basically walked past it. Yeah, that's what I needed to do. So, Keyforge. But now we can start the last guild. I already started them. Pikachu song. Hi there. Welcome, man. I am right now at the... You know, we're pretty close to complete the first guild. I'm so excited about that. So let's check out what kind of things we could socket into our trade slots here, which would be good. After an enemy is afflicted with a debuff, they lose attack and intelligence. Well, no. Let's see. This is going to be... I wanted to check out the pandemonium thingies, because there was one cool thing between these. At the start of battle, this creature casts Affliction. Let me cast a spell. No. Good night, Cerno. Sleep well. Thanks for stopping by, mate. After this creature dies, your other creatures are resurrected with 100% health. They're not dead. Here, Pandemonium Rebirth. This is... I love this trait shard. This is basically a wipe protection just for the sacrifice of one party trait. I mean, this is not a small sacrifice. Seriously. Gate of the Gods unlocked? Yeah, well, I was progressing quite hard today. Yeah, you aren't. I love that trait. The Pandemonium Rebirth is among my absolute favorites to counteract party wipes, because it's simple, effective, and sweet. And it has not even a limiter. If you can resurrect the creature which has the trait in some way, you can just restart that cycle of BS. So, let's see. I would love to have some healing method here. That would be really, really good. Because we are totally squishy here. But this is not that easy. After this creature gains spell gems, your other creatures that don't have this trait gain those spell gems as well now. So... there has to be a way of utilizing my own debuffs on the enemies to my own favorable good here. This has to be possible. Well, afflicting the enemies with stone, no dodge, no crit, nah. Enemies start battles with bleeding, no, not too interesting. If we crit, we heal. Not good enough to keep the team alive. After this creature manually casts a spell. After an enemy is healed, it's afflicted with blighted. I like that, but I don't want to go for that. At the start of battle, your creature's stats are set equal to the average of all their stats. Shouldn't that be awesome for the Unholy Knight, which basically deals damage equal to my lowest stat when I just equalize everything? I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is straight out yes. This should be overall an increase in stats for my team. Very interesting option. Very, very interesting option. I'm not going to pick it up at this point because I don't think it's... I don't know if it's that really good. You think it's really good? Well, we can unsocket it after all. Because it's really hard to pump up the lowest stats in a direct way. So, thanks for nudging me there, Jorn. I think it was a wise thing that I did this. So... while this creature is above 90% health. No, let's not go for this one. So... no, creatures cannot gain stats. Well, that would put an end to this discussion. There must be something, though. There must be something which will baffle me. Pretty sure. So, well, let's try it for now. I want to read page 22 completely, and then we're going to see how well we fare against an instability. Maybe this is already stronger than I think. I mean, we have pretty nasty things on board. My creatures deal more damage and enemies deal less damage for each enemy that is afflicted. Okay, that changes the every enemy starts the battle with bleeding thing entirely. Yeah, well, I don't have any healing. That's really what I think will smack me if I go for higher instabilities. At the start of this creature's turn, your creatures recover 35% health. I mean, something like that. I don't know if I should take that. But this one is really looking like a massive thing. Really want Orum's Avatar? I haven't checked out that one. Well, I want to have the Shadow Hook as well. And I'm going to... Let's see how quickly I can apply bleeding to my enemies. And let's just put it to the test, and we will have... Okay. This should destroy me. This should definitely destroy me. So, let's see, our enemies cast 7 additional times. We take more damage, so I would be very, very surprised if I would be able to survive that. But I want to break this build to check out its weaknesses somehow. So, yeah, we outright die there. But at the same time, our enemies just destroy themselves. Prevented magic barrier? What's magic barrier? If your creatures have cast a total of 12, your creatures are immune to debuffs. You guys. Such party poopers. And we have to do the volcano. I don't think I can beat this. So trait immune enemies or debuff immune enemies are just the big problem for what I'm playing here. Yeah, there's a trait which makes my enemies start with bleeding. I should use that. I still have 2 more socket slots open after that. I already stumbled past that. It was somewhere here. Here. Throat slash. Okay, so immunity to debuffs is just flat out kicking me down, but... Well... I don't want less indirect damage. This is too strong. Okay. Let's see. But beyond that, the damage output is unholy, and due to the massive debuffs on our enemies, the damage they deal is rather low. That's what I hope. That's what I was hoping for. Yeah. Okay. So I just need to apply some means of resurrection, I think. So Yeah, my own creatures are suffering from bleeding due to that as well, but... well... it's a rather low price to pay for debuffing my enemies with 60% less damage. You know? I gotta say, this is a price I can't pay. Holy moly, this is strong. So I only have 2 more trade slots open for this build though. So we are pretty much already fixated on a lot of things, where I feel like I might be better off without the dragons. I might be actually better off without the dragons. I think taking out one of the 2 dragons and just simply replacing him with an Ent, with the mending, with mend and mend amplify, just for those fights where things go really bad. 5-piece, would you recommend this game for a first-time Siralim player? Yes, absolutely. If you want to get started with Siralim, don't go with 1, 2, or 3. They're basically inferior versions to this game. Even the story is basically mostly the same as with Siralim 3. I didn't play Siralim 1 or 2. I can only speak for the 3. But I would never want to return a single time to Siralim 3 because this is just the next step of the game. I don't miss anything, and basically everything I loved from Siralim 3 is in this game already, and everything I didn't like about Siralim 3 has been removed, so there's really no reason to go for the other games. I feel like the developer kind of gimped himself with sales of the other of the other games, but I guess that's not really a problem though. And Hyorin is agreeing with me 100%. Happy to hear that. So, oh my god, this is what is happening here? I didn't think that we would be devastating our enemies like that. Holy crap. I thought that instability 5 would be way more of a problem, but I'm pretty sure that there are instabilities which will just kick this build down the gutter. But wow, I like that. I really, really like that. While 5-piece, one thing about one big difference between Siralim 3 and Siralim Ultimate is, what I personally like basically the most is that character classes make so much more of a difference in Siralim Ultimate compared to Siralim 3. That's just, these specializations as they are called here are just such a fun thing to tinker around with. It's really awesome. Mortem. Mortem was Titan's wound. Okay. This is kicking ass. Holy. Okay, so we will need. What I will do now is, well, I don't know. Do I really want to remove that though? I think I don't need that. I think the debuff strat is strong enough, or is it? Well, I should try it even more. My current team is surprisingly good with Siege Master. Siege Master, I think, is a very, very powerful class as well. I was only playing the other damage reflection class, the Paladin. Siege Master and Paladin are quite similar, yet very different, because they facilitate the damage reflection pretty differently, but it was a lot of fun and very, very powerful. No worries, Pop Man. Happy that you stayed here a while and have a good time, mate. See you soon. Very much in love with the Blood Mage class. Yeah, I'm looking forward to play that one too, Hyorin. I almost started Blood Mage today. After my creatures deal damage as a result of Blighted, they recover health equal. Pretty cool, but way too conditional. Blood Mage sounds awesome, definitely. Blood Mage definitely sounds very, very awesome. So, big boned. Nah. Well, that won't heal enough to make the party healthy. Sadly. After this creature is attacked, it gains attack and recovers health equal to damage taken. Almost. But this doesn't heal when we get damaged by spells, for example, or by traits. This creature is always mending. The one free auto-revive for each party member. Yeah. That's true. This auto revive. I just need to put up a spell jump with resurrection. I need to flavor it chaos colored to share it with the whole team. But at the end of the operation, everybody will have a resurrection gem to put back to put that resurrection bot back on this feat. This is insane. So probably we won't be needing healing at all. Probably we really won't be needing that at all. So I'm pretty sure that there must be some really nasty and powerful trait hidden somewhere, which I'm not using yet. But, well, let's see. The Mastery of Dragons. Your dragon's innate traits activate one additional time. Fun, but not really a good thing. So, Plague Doctors. No, that doesn't work. Doom Guards with Siege Master, yes. I think they are basically made to fit to each other. Okay, so let's create a chaos flavored resurrection spell. There we go. Just to make sure our little buddy here has what he needs. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the strategy for now, and we're trying to proceed for once. So, resistant to debuffs. Maximum extra traits one. No, we're not going to play that. So 314%. Extra speed 282%. This should be killing me. This is a good one to try out. So basically every enemy can act on me before they're destroying themselves. They're absolutely destroying themselves. Whoa! 19% health, weak on damage, rebirth on damage, defense and speed, panic attack on defend. I have no clue what panic attack is, but this is one of my biggest nether stones I've found so far. Yeah, it's... My god, what have I built there? This is awesome. This is way better than I thought it would be. I thought the enemies would just rip me apart when they get to act, but they just die while trying to act on me. Okay. Oh, panic attack is a spell that makes your enemies attack each other. Oh, I need to check this out. Wait a sec. Can't we check this out in the codex here? So, panic attack. Each of your creatures attack a random enemy. Okay, that's interesting. And to make things more funny, my Chaos Guard is collective unconscious. I can't remember which one was collective unconscious, I'm sorry. There's just too many things. Look at that loot! Sick loot! I love this! They're just destroying themselves. Well, to be fair, it all falls flat as soon as they are immune to debuffs, but this is just awesome. I like that. Plague Spreader Goo. Okay. Professor Spark. Well, with 314% extra drops, we have to lick this realm clean. Holy moly. I expected something from the Defiler class, but not that much. Sure, you have a weakness, but you're a good matchup against 90%. Yeah, exactly. That's okay to fall flat sometimes if you just annihilate everything, per se. Beyond, except for a couple of things. So it turns out that the stat decreases kick the enemies that hard, I guess. So I think I won't be removing the dragons, because the dragons seem to be a very powerful way of keeping our enemies in check by decreasing their stats for whatever they do. Wow, we're farming those trait stuff so hard. Those trait stuff so hard here right now. Okay. I love it how every time I do a new build, I really notice that things get better and better by having more and more experience. This game rewards experience a ton. It's something I really realize. Well, instability 5 on depth 416. Check. Well. So the additional casts are ripping them apart here right now. Well, the cleric was already pretty nasty too, but he had really, really tough. He had really a lot of problems in killing stuff. He was very slow, but I haven't lost a single fight with that cleric build so far, because it basically kept stacking stats as long as it got hurt, and but nothing blitzed it down so far. So. Well. That's the Defiler. Fun. For me. So we can farm a lot now. Ethereal Finger. Well, to be fair, this build has, unlike other builds that I've played, a massive weakness against a certain condition. So there are things this build just can't beat, because debuff immune enemies are just overpowering this per se. But that's okay, I mean. At least it's not too much of a surprise when it happens. There we go. I love it. So that Cerberus was really a good decision there. The Cerberus really made it happen that we keep spreading those debuffs like crazy. Yeah, I think this build would be worse off without the dragons, because the dragons punished the enemy for every single move they take and debuff their stats with every turn. Which is, I think, a very good thing to happen, because that makes me more survivable at this point. So, well, I didn't expect to be that resilient, but I wanted to try before I overdo the defense part. So, we have our first guild. So, Chaos Guild. You establish your first guild. Guilds allow you to take on bounties to hunt for false gods, which are some of the most powerful enemies. You'll earn reputation with your guilds. Access guild shop. Anointments. Ooh, that's where the anointments come from. I see. So. Oh, that's this one is quite large. So, hi there, dudes. We can't buy anything from these guys. Caliban the Unredeemed. Oh, this will use my stones here. I love it. Okay. Caliban. Hydranox. You will find them at realm depth 422. Okay. Cool. You haven't collected any runes yet. Okay. So, extra defenses, less healing, less indirect damage, no additional attacks. Nah. I shouldn't take things that are really bothering me here. Less indirect damage should be one of the worst things that I can encounter for my strategy. Because most of my damage is indirect damage. So, I would be gimping myself quite hard if I would handle it differently. So what do we have here? Yeah, well. Yep. Working out decently. We're basically still as successful as before. I love it. The only difference is the sick loot now. I also like about this build that it is really quick. It's not only strong, it's also quick. I really appreciate builds that work like this. So we still have 2 trade slots open even, but I want to keep these open until I run into a very dramatic problem that needs to be handled somehow. Pandemonium bead. Ah, here we go. Just gained that Pandemonium rebirth trade thingy back that I spent there. Awesome. Okay. So that's the Defiler. I didn't expect this to go that well. And that's just my first attempt on this class. I'm pretty sure that there must be way better options of doing what I'm doing here. After my creatures are attacked, they recover health equal to 25% of the maximum health. Really good against things that actually attack me, but well. I don't think that I need to be that angsty around this. Basically, I have the feeling as if my enemies weren't even able to act on me anymore. Most of the time, that is. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, well. Do I want that? No, no, no. Do you have anything for me? No. Okay. Not too interested in specific shopping of certain traits. Not my favorite thing to do. Okay. So I wonder if I can have only one bounty per guild or one bounty from all of the guilds. I'm going to find that out. I assassinated some of the traits you really want. Okay. Yeah, assassination missions take forever. First you need to grind up the knowledge about the creature, and then you have to do the assassination project itself too. So it's really quite time consuming, but if you need a trait really badly for your build, you need the trait really badly for your build. Can't deny that, and sometimes it's better to take the long route to have that one trait you need for your build for sure, instead of hoping forever and ever for RNGs to bless you. You're really grind resistant, so am I, Hjoran, so am I. And I really still think that assassination is a good way of acquiring traits if you really need them, instead of hoping for a lucky drop, basically. I really think that hoping for a lucky drop is not really smart at all. Oh man, I'm so happy that this worked out so good. This was not expected. Still want to grind out a couple of levels more on the cleric though, because I want to unlock that third costume. Although 100 realm quests with that specific character class are always pretty rough, gotta say. Lich plush. Ooh. Fancy. Okay, boom. Yeah, well. Could be actually turning into one of my favorite builds, because I really like how fast it is and how much potential it still has in terms of optimizations towards whatever might be necessary. I mean, I need to play this longer. I mean, I don't think that there's any trait which says creatures can't be immune against debuffs anymore. But yeah, well, this seems to be that one major weakness. But I guess it's okay to accept that sometimes you just can't win, and then just retry again. Okay. So that one thing I want to do for tonight's stream is that I want to get towards that false god thing. Every build has a major weakness in Instep 5. I think so too, Hjoran. I think so too. Just right on cue. Just right on cue. Whatever was going on in the hidden properties preventing the resurrection there must have been something. Because that shouldn't have happened. Alright. But I really don't care if I sometimes get insta-nuked on instability 5. That's the price you pay if you want to farm like a madman. I don't mind at all. I rather enjoy it when I finally have a build again which works so good that I can use it pretty much permanently on instability 5 without dying of boredom. Like with a cleric it was also quite possible, but it wasn't satisfying until I found a tweak with the macros. Now it's really good too, even on instability 5. I really found a good common ground there. So far, my biggest gripe with the game is, well, I don't want to sound arrogant, but it's easy to break, basically. It's feeling like it's still too easy. Or the increase of difficulty is not quick enough to keep pace with my progression. That's just my feeling. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just maybe I was playing this game too long and my opinion is biased on somebody who's just grinding like a crazy guy. I don't know. It's hard to tell for me. But I feel like once you understood the basics of building specializations in this game, it is quite easy to build stuff which gets past instability 5 quite reliable. Don't know if I'm wrong about that. Maybe it gets hotter down there, but so far I felt like proceeding with the depths, the levels on the monsters didn't really fall into account anymore too much to know my build might be considered broken as well. Well, what I've seen so far, what you posted there, Hyorin, it looks like it's really extremely powerful too, because basically with the Blood Mage, like I saw it with the Maniacs you use, well, you seem to be living and breathing AoE, explosion damage, and resurrections. I don't know if I did understand it wrong, but that's what it was looking like. That's basically it, yeah. That's really powerful. It's really powerful. I guess everything which denies you from resurrections is kicking your butt quite hard. But beyond that, I don't know what should put a stop to strategies like these. Oh, treasured golem. It fled. Now I'm angry. Treasure golem and instability 5, man. I have 3 monsters that focus on boosting and sharing stats. Yeah, that's just way to go. I mean, basically, this build here boosts its stats too, only on the inverted route. Instead of boosting its own stats, this team grows stronger by debuffing the enemy. But basically it's the same. It doesn't matter if you grow stronger or the enemy grows weaker. At the end of the day, both mechanisms lead to the same thing, and that's a power disparage between you and the enemy. That's what I was hoping for, that it would work when I built this team. And I'm right. Love it. Goblet of Trials! Gimme my loot. Alright, Piety. Oh, we can equip relics too. Ooh, ooh. Flash Stomper Tattoo. Well, whatever. That loot here is always so arbitrary to me. Honestly. So, I want another Defiler challenge. Here we go. That didn't take that long this time. Wonderful. So, let's see. 445 item find bonus. I have to try that, even if it's going to explode me. PvP? Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be really awesome. I mean, I think it would be some kind of artificial pseudo PvP where you fight against uploaded builds from other players. But I think it should be great though. So 445% drop rate, but difficulty not really noticeable. Well, you know, Hyorin, this is version 0.10, you know, so I'm pretty sure that we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg for this project so far. There's really much room for improvement there. So the first guy on my team died. Wow, we're dealing so much damage there. Just by applying debuffs and stopping enemies from acting. Like that. That list is just more than my screen can take. Love it. Loot explosion. Well, I don't know. The dev must have a really one of the most hard tasks on this planet by trying to balance this game, keeping everything in check against each thing. This guy is insane. Royal bed. I'm really looting a ton of items here. Oh, my enemies are for the first time dealing damage to me. So now we're going to go for the resurrections, because I'm angsty. Yeah, here we go. This loot. Okay. I really noticed that the only deaths occur at the beginning of a fight, pretty much. And the longer the fight goes, the less deaths happen. But it's not really surprising because we debuff the hell out of our enemies. And we decrease their stats for acting. So... oh, well, it's the wrong dude to cast spells with. Okay, whatever. I don't need to resurrect my creature here. We're doing fine. Okay. Prevented immunity, so immune against indirect damage or what? Looks like it was one of those guys again. So where's the teleporter? There's the teleporter. I really love that feature. It's so good that you don't have to stumble blindly anymore. Although, oh man, it's really, really hard to leave such a realm unplundered. But I want to progress. So yeah, there's another boss on this one. So let's see. Gems sealed after casting. No, I can't play that. Okay. 4 extra traits on the enemies. Whatever, we're going to try that. I could imagine that this build is going to struggle with some nether bosses. Gems seal after casting is horrible for you as well. Yeah, since I keep spamming those spells to apply my damage, this is not something I will take voluntarily. Not at all. There we go. So, Major Resurrection. And, this guy has Shadow Bulwark. Of course. What else? Dumpling Master. Oh boy, that's one of the rarest fights that you can encounter with the Masters. Okay. Yeah, the Dumpling Master. That's where it goes when you play with dumplings, I guess. I got no clue now. I was very surprised when I saw this the first time too. This is pretty whack. Okay, I need to resurrect my dudes here. So... there we go. So the amount of spellcasts on my team is limited. So far, it is. But this is, for real, the first time that we start to run out of charges. But as I see here, this will be ultimately a problem. Your dumplings gain an ultimate spell depending on the skin they have equipped. What the heck? Skin-based skills? Requiem instead of Major Resurrection. Well, party-wide resurrect. Yeah, there are tons of options, Joran. I mean, this team has not even closely used its spell potentials. I mean, right now I only share a couple of gems on that one dude there. There's so much more what we can do. I do like Major Resurrection because it brings back the unit in particular with a lot of life, and since I don't run any healing mechanisms, that was the thought behind it at least. So let's see where that nether boss is at. Ah, here we're getting softened up for the first time. Full party except one. Yeah. Requiem is pretty cool to have. And there's no reason not to just bring both, like Major Resurrection and Requiem. Nothing speaks against that. My god, the damage. This is really massive. I didn't expect it to be that good. So basically we could use a high variety of spells too. Although I have not too many ideas right now which ones I would use, but let's see how the nether boss fight goes. Nether bosses on a high instability are always fun if you can make it work out. Alright, Kiichi. I mean, this is the first tier 3 nether boss fight, so this could be a little bit harder than usual. Okay, we have the first man down, but instantly revived. Okay. Enemies are dying a lot slower here, but at the same time they don't really do much with their actions. Okay, we have our first man down. For real. Bleeding is wearing the team down. Okay. Yeah, that's where my random ramshackle thing does not work anymore. Why did the resurrection not trigger there? Okay. So I don't have any resurrections left, but to be fair, we almost did it actually. We almost did it there. Even with a very mediocre setup. So I'm going to cut the stream for today here. I really wanted to get to the guy there on the guild here, but I feel like I don't want to pressure this too hard right now, and rather take it slow and pick that up on another stream. I wish you guys a nice night, a nice day, whatever is ahead of you in your time zone, and thanks for the good company as usual. I enjoyed the stream a lot. Stay safe, and catch you guys tomorrow. Bye bye. Oh, hello voice.